Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to dig into a really deep idea called the architecture of divine comfort. It's basically a way of looking at how faith tries to offer something more than just simple answers when we're suffering. It's about a tangible presence right there in the middle of it all.
And we have to start with the biggest question of them all, right? The one that everyone, at some point, has asked. It echoes through all of human history, and it's something that challenges pretty much every belief system out there. It's huge, and it's also incredibly personal. You see, this is way more than just some philosophical puzzle to solve. It's a real dilemma that hits us right where we live, and it kind of forces us to ask some tough questions about the very character of God. It's where our head, which is always looking for logical answers, goes to war with our heart, which is just looking for some comfort. So, how does this whole framework respond to that enormous question? Well, and this is absolutely crucial, it doesn't try to give you a neat little bullet point answer for why bad things happen. Instead, it offers a relational answer, one that's all about presence, not explanation. Okay, so the central pillar holding this entire structure up is one single, totally radical idea: the incarnation. This is the belief that God didn't just stay, up there, far away. The belief is that God chose to become fully human, to actually enter into the mess and the joy and the deep vulnerability of being alive. So this idea is a direct pushback against that image of a distant creator God who's just watching from afar, totally unaffected by any of this. The whole argument here is that God chose not to be immune to our problems, but to jump right into them with us. So look, while this framework might not tell you the specific reason for every tragedy, it does try to cross one possibility off the list for good. The logic is, if God actually chose to enter into human suffering, then whatever the reason for our pain is, it just can't be because he doesn't love us or doesn't get it. And that leads us right into the second part of this architecture. If the incarnation is proof of love, this next piece is all about the kind of comfort you can only get from someone who has truly, genuinely been there. It's about empathy that comes from experience. And we're not talking about some vague, general sense of understanding. The claim here is really specific. Have you ever felt betrayed? Or deeply lonely? Have you felt abandoned? Maybe even by God himself? Have you been in real physical agony? Well, the argument of the incarnation is that God, in the person of Jesus, has been there too. There's this line from a poem that just captures this so perfectly. The idea is so profound. A perfect, untouched being can give you sympathy, sure, but can they really connect with someone who's broken? This suggests that real, true comfort can only come from someone who also has scars. Think of it this way. It's the huge difference between a friend giving you advice from some book they read and a friend who has walked through the exact same fire you're in now and can actually guide you out. One is just theory. The other, that's testimony. But hey, this isn't just about finding a way to get through the pain right now. The third part of this whole architecture is all about the future. It's about a concrete, solid hope for a completely new reality. The framework uses this really powerful image of two separate worlds. First, there's the real world we live in, right? The one marked by pain and loss. But then there's the ideal world, this promised reality where everything is made new without all that stuff. And the belief is that by becoming human, Jesus basically pitched his tent right here in our real world to build a bridge over to the ideal one. And this act is seen as something incredibly decisive, like a guarantee. The idea is that by entering our reality and then conquering death, the incarnation literally punched a hole in that wall between the two worlds. It's a promise that our current suffering is not the end of the story. And what all this leads to is this incredibly powerful, almost defiant hope. It means that a person of faith can look at any broken situation, grief, injustice, sickness, you name it, and have this deep conviction that this is not how it ends. That simple phrase, "that will change," becomes less of a wish and more of a guaranteed promise. Okay, so to bring this all home, there's one last, really vivid analogy that just crystallizes the entire argument into a single image you won't forget. First, imagine you're trapped. You're in a dark, dangerous minefield. Now a commander is circling way up high in a helicopter, totally safe, shouting directions down at you. The advice might even be good advice, but that distance, it just makes you feel totally alone, maybe even a little resentful. But now, picture a totally different scenario.
The same commander doesn't stay safe up there. He lands the helicopter, gets out, and walks right into that same dangerous minefield to stand right there next to you. Now the risk is shared. The presence is immediate. Everything changes.
And this right here is the ultimate picture of this kind of comfort. It's not a leader who just gives you orders from on high. It's a leader who offers you their hand and says, "Take my hand. I have walked this path before, and I know the way out." They've been there. They've been hurt by the same dangers, and they're going to walk with you.
So that leaves us with one final big question to chew on. When we're really in pain, what do we truly need the most? Is it a perfect, logical explanation that makes our minds feel better? Or is it a perfect, loving presence that is willing to just sit with us in the dark?